Hello everyone, welcome again to the all-new sports show presented by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. I'm Edward Green, McCall West Bradshaw will be joining me at the desk momentarily, along with Foster Lander from the Rocky Mount Telegram. We have a big show for you today, the final of our high school football preview episodes. We'll be taking a look at Southern Nash, Rocky Mount, Northern, and Nash Central with new head coach Chris Lee. All that, a dour 60 seconds of soccer, and much, much more. This is the all-new sports show. It's time.
Dogs coming on blitz, a nice pickup. Green gets rid of it and caught on the deflection. Put 6 on the board, Knight fans. That is a touchdown.
Haggerty is running hit and run, but it's right to Carter, who flips the second for one over to first in time for a double play to end the inning.
Good evening, America, and also Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson counties. Welcome to the all-new sports show brought to you every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. He's Ed Green. I'm Wes Bradshaw. This is Ricky the Raven sitting in tonight, providing the body for Foster Lander from the Rocky Mount Telegram.
He's in his consciousness.
He is in his consciousness. Folks, you're going to hear the voice tonight of Foster Lander. Just imagine that it's coming out of Ricky the Raven.
Yes.
I think I called him Ricky. Good deal. Okay.
I wanted him to be called Ishko.
Oh, sweet, sweet Ishko. Maybe next week the Ishko Raven will come.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, folks, as we said, this show is brought to you each and every week by Roger G. Taylor and Associates, our premier title sponsor.
Yes.
Folks, also scrolling across the bottom of your screen during this show, you will see the rest of the all-new sports show sponsors. We ask folks if any of them can be of service to you, please.
Patronize them.
Patronize them. Yeah, that's all we ask. We ask for little
We ask
things.
for very little here.
We ask for very little. Look at this. Very little. All right. Looking at tonight's show, folks, it is week 3 of our high school football previews.
Yes.
The final week for the high school football season kicks off this week, folks. We have the tour of the Nash County Big East schools. That is Nash Central, Northern Nash, Southern Nash, and the capstone, which I don't even need to name, but I will in case we have new viewers, that being Rocky Mount High School. Folks, we have interviews with all 4 of those teams' coaches coming up for you, and we're going to talk about each one, and Foster Lander's going to throw in his 2 cents on each one. Don't forget, folks, the most exciting minute of your week is being expanded to a minute and a half this week. That's coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned. But Ed, before we get everything, why don't you put us over?
Of course. As you see on the bottom of the screen right now, there's a lot of ways to get up with us, one of them being the Twitter and the email. First, you can Twitter us at All New Sports Show is the collective. I'm at Edward Green. He is at West Bradshaw 21. Foster, what's your Twitter handle?
At Foster Lander, Lander.
So easy.
All of us, we made it easy for everyone.
Again, none of us are Gunner Blog 27. If you want to go onto Facebook, you can find us All New Sports Show. I just realized I can't make that joke this week. Facebook, All New Sports Show. Email us, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Send us your letters and parcels to 1701 Sunset Avenue, Suite 201, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27804. Finally, you can Periscope with us using our Twitter handle to find us. You can also get our podcast on podbean.com, the iTunes Music Store, and ngscsports.com. Lastly, view this and all other videos at youtube.com/theallnewsportshow.
Of course, Ed, we could be Charlie the Red, and it's time to kick this show off. We're going to out-passion every other show on the air.
We're going to have a good work rate tonight.
That's right. That's right. We are going to work hard, not be very skilled.
No.
But we're going to work hard. We're going to run lots. At the end of the night, we're going to have covered many
I
kilometers.
guess you Soldado.
Oh, no, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
gotta do.
All right, folks, we're going to kick it off week 3.
Yes.
Episode 3, Season 4. It was a great summer vacation, wasn't it? Totally.
Still a great joke.
All right. Almost came off, too, didn't it? That close. All right, folks, we are going to kick it off with last year's co-conference champions, the Firebirds of Southern Nash High School. Brian Foster back again, and once again back with a vengeance.
Yes.
It's going to be a good football team again this year, Ed.
Absolutely, winning their first conference title since 1991. Won a share of it this year. Go 9-4 for their second straight 9-4 season. This is their sixth straight winning season under Brian Foster since 2009, almost since we've been doing this show. They've been going over 500. A tough schedule this year, and a tough start to last year as well, with almost the same kind of non-conference schedule that saw them grow and develop as the season went along. And finally, as we saw numerous times last year, they were very, very good. Had a little more skill, I think, than sometimes Southern Nash has, especially in the passing department. And they're returning a lot of that this season.
There they are. Foster, I know you've been out, you've seen quite a bit of Southern Nash. Not too bad when you bring back that quarterback wide receiver combination.
Well, that was going to be kind of my first point, in that they've switched almost exclusively to the shotgun this year, just because they have the guys on the perimeter that can do that. Zach Foster, the quarterback, is a senior, and he's kind of seen it all. But in terms of the wide receivers and the running backs, they're about as good as it gets in the Big East.
Taking a look at Taj Deans, kind of the big name coming back on the outside. Last we had heard he committed to East Carolina as a wide receiver. That's not a bad place in this country to go to be a wide receiver at this point in your life. Just ask Justin Hardy, who's tearing it up down at Atlanta Falcons camp.
I believe you.
You believe
What
me.
are the Falcons?
Well, Foster Lander, this is a guy from Georgia right here on the phone, folks. Foster, just as a guy who has been around big-time college football, what kind of a prospect is Taj Deans?
Well, first of all, and Taj will tell you this much, he needs to put some bulk on.
Yes.
If you go look at him, he's tall, he's 6'2", he's 6'3". Mm-hmm. He's got long arms, so he can go get the ball. But if he's obviously ECU playing that spread offense, he should see plenty of touches. But he needs to kind of put some of that meat on his bones if he wants to hold up in big-time college football. But I think he will have a good career with the Pirates.
Foster, one thing that Southern has this year is that return of talent on the outside and under center. What they are having to replace for a second straight year is their line. Talk a little bit about what Southern's going to be doing this year to try and get that group solidified.
Well, this is actually I believe the third year in a row they've had to replace their entire starting offensive line, tight end to tight end. So all pretty much 7 of those guys. Which Brian Foster said he's obviously never had to deal with. Southern Nash usually is pretty big up front. I don't know that they will be as big this year, which I think is part of the reason for going to the shotgun, where they can get Zach Foster a little further away from the ball. But I think that's the biggest question mark with them.
This is a team always solid defensively. For years, Southern Nash has been known as a team that grinds the football. When you want to grind the football, usually you can turn around and stop the run. Defensively this year, what are the Firebirds looking at, do we think?
They have to replace, I believe it's 6 defensive starters, and a lot of those guys that are going to be trying to do that are sophomores. Obviously, they have some good athletes out there. Nadir Thompson at cornerback. Tim Batchelor is a really big kid at defensive tackle. But outside of the offensive line, they just, in terms of playing defensive line and outside linebacker, there are really a lot of question marks that I don't think they have answered yet.
Now, Ed, you went out and talked to head coach Brian Foster.
I did.
What kind of feel did you get for Brian Foster for the upcoming season?
Well, unlike in years past, one of the key things, again, we talk about Southern is those injuries. Mm-hmm. He's got a middle linebacker, and he'll talk about it in the interview in a few minutes, who last year was not a starter, came on, they expected him to be a strong part of this year's defense, got a concussion last season, went through baseball practice, was cleared to go, and then during the summer he starts having those concussion symptoms return. They shut him down for football. He's done. Can only play baseball from now. And the center position that they're going to have to replace. They had a starter there. That he's done for the year. So besides those 2 guys, though, he doesn't have that many injuries. Last year we had a player on Southern Nash who had a lacerated kidney in practice.
He's back too.
Yes, he's back.
Jaquay Mitchell,
yes.
He's really good.
So other than that, I think Foster really likes where this team is. I talked to him right before they had the Jamboree, so I don't really know his thoughts about how they looked after that. But it looks like before he said, like Foster's talking about, if they can hold the line, I think he believes this team can be really, really good this year.
Foster, anything to add on to that?
Well, he mentioned Jaquay Mitchell, too. He's obviously not a very big kid, but in terms of guys that really can make you miss, they love getting him the ball out on screens and getting him the ball as quick as they can and letting him do stuff with it. He can go, and he can make some big plays for them this year, I think. But I think it'll be same old Southern Nash. 8, 9, 10 wins is a reasonable expectation.
All right. Well, folks, as we said a little earlier, Edward had the chance to head out to Southern Nash High School and have a chat with Brian Foster. So why don't we roll the videotape and let's head out to that as we'll hit that videotape.
I just fell off the cliff, just like the Japanese national anthem.
Oh.
I talked to Foster. Let's watch. Now we're out here, guys, at the campus of Southern Nash High School with head coach Brian Foster. Coach, division champions last year. Always good to see you, as always. About to start on another season, have the Jamboree tonight, so you guys getting ready for that. But tell us a little bit of how the off-season's been going with the spring and summer practices.
For me personally, it's been much better. Didn't have a whole lot of personal tragedies. Health has been good, and our kids have worked hard. I think we got a good group of kids. Lost a few, but proud of the ones that are here and been working hard.
Well, obviously, one of the keys with Southern Nash, as always, is the injuries. You guys have a lot of players, but it's always just about replacing some of those guys that seem to kind of get hurt for you. Do we have a full bill of health going into this season?
Right now we do. Right, we did lose Blake Boyd. He was one of the linemen that were coming back from last year that had played some, that had a concussion last year and had some problems with it again this year, so they're not going to let him play. So we did lose Blake.
How have the guys looked as far as some of the skills position guys going into your first week of games here?
That's where we do have a little experience. We lost all our linemen tight end to tight end, but we do have Jaquay back, Taj back, Nadir back, Zach back. Kendrick Bell's coming up from the JV team, Demetrius Perry at fullback, Daywan Wilkins, who played some last year, but as a freshman, he'll be playing some at the running back position also.
You mentioned Zach, your son, starting quarterback. A year of being the starter, how has that helped him kind of go into this next season?
I think anytime you're a little more used to a situation, you're going to do a little better at it. But he's a good kid, smart kid. I couldn't be proud of him regardless of what happens this season football-wise.
You guys got off to a little bit of a slow start last season, but came on like gangbusters late, won the conference. Talk to us a little bit about the off-season, or not the off-season, but the non-conference schedule going into 2015.
We played Northwood, which will be different for us. Southwest dropped us, so we picked up them, from a strong conference. The same conference as Orange and Southern Durham, so they're used to playing good competition. I think it'll be a different game for our kids, something we should enjoy. Then you still got Bunn, who I think will be as strong as they've been in a long, long time. Bedingfield's always dangerous. Aiden Griffith's a tough team, always well coached. Tarbur's Tarbur. Trying to think, in South Johnson, we picked them up this year, and they're a team that likes to throw the ball and spread you out, so it'll be a challenge.
Talk about the Big East this year. One thing I've noticed from talking to a lot of the coaches so far is the sense of optimism that a lot of the coaches have. Everybody seems really excited about this 2015 season. Tell us about how you see the kind of conference landscape a little bit.
Several schools have a lot of people back. You look at a Hunt, a Rocky Mount, Nash Central. Well, Rocky Mount lost some, but they got a lot of the kids back also. Those three schools have a lot of returners back and should feel confident. Fike, has probably the player of the year offensively that either quarterback or running back. And then I think we got some good skilled people. It's just a matter of replacing those linemen. So, I think it should be really competitive. And much like last year, who wins those close games.
Let's just take a look at week one. What are some of your goals going into week one with this team?
Well, hopefully we don't turn the ball over and we play with confidence and play to win. That's what you always want to do. And, hopefully the guys stick together and represent our school and community in a positive way.
Anything else to add about this season before we get out of here?
No, I just appreciate you guys covering us, and hopefully people come out and support us and enjoy what we try to put together.
We always do. This is the 2014 Charles Alston Memorial Coach of the Year last season. Looking to repeat it this year with another strong Southern Nash team. Coach Foster, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you much.
Now that will do it for our Southern Nash preview.
Big thanks, Coach Brian Foster. Always, we're talking about while the video was going on, just one of those guys that absolutely we love to talk to.
Yes.
Always very giving of his time with us.
Oh, absolutely.
We bother him at the most inopportune times at most times, and he's just great.
I'll say this just real quick. I was talking to him after the interview.
Mm-hmm.
This was, again, they were getting ready for their jamboree, and I asked him just a few questions off camera, and then I was like, all right, Coach, I'll stop bothering you. He's like, no, you stay here as long as you want to. And obviously that's him being nice, but we've had conversations that last 30, 40 minutes. He's a great guy.
We're sitting there looking to get out of the stadium after it's over. And it's like, man, Coach, it gets really dark around here. Those lights off.
There's a reason we call it God's country.
There's a reason it's called God's country, because there is no light out here. All right, folks, we are going to slide over now to the capstone for all you people watching at home. So all you Northern Nash and Nash Central fans, and all you Wilson fans can now click me off and talk about how much you despise me. But it's all good, folks. We give everyone equal coverage around here. Some just have a nickname that others don't have, like the capstone. But anyway.
You know what? One day we need to debut those football nicknames we came up with for each school in our cover area. Do you still have those?
God, we might have that written down somewhere.
I hope you do. You were the one that wrote it down, so I hope so.
Oh, yeah, that means nothing anymore, but we'll see what I can come up with.
Anyway.
All right, folks, on to the Griffons. Take a look at Rocky Mount this season. Ed, Rocky Mount coming off 8-5 a season ago?
Yep, 8-5, third straight 8-win season. First year under Jason Battle that they win a playoff game, get that monkey off their back, and really take that next step forward. They have a tough schedule coming up. They were picked to, I believe, finish 4th in the Big East this year, the coaches clinic this past Monday, and they bring back a lot of players. Have to make some replacements, but
big replacement.
This is, and I'm not sure if Fosterlander new to the area, but this is, I will go ahead and say, this is a team where I feel like the only thing that will hold Rocky Mount back is Rocky Mount. And it's something we saw last season. It's dumb penalties, it's bad miscues at very inopportune times. Rocky Mount will go as far as they want to and no farther.
I agree with that to a certain extent. I don't believe this Rocky Mount group, I always harken back to the golden age of Rocky Mount football.
A lot.
Which was about 7-8 years ago. It was a Rocky Mount team that sent a ton of kids to college every year. Were routinely, a terrible year was going to the third round of the playoffs. It was basically like Tarboro. It was a terrible year. We only got the third round this year. I don't quite know if this Rocky Mount team in the last few years, if they've had quite that talent level just across the board. They've had players.
Right.
I also know they've had that talent level across the board. I don't know if this is a Rocky Mount team that is quite talented enough to compete for a state championship. But I do believe this is a Rocky Mount team that, as you said, if they let themselves reach what they can reach, this is a team that can absolutely go for a conference championship. They can compete on that level. They can win 2 or 3 playoff games. I don't see it as a state championship contender team, but I see them as a team that can be in that maybe final 8 in the East, even the final 4 in the East if everything fell right. Now, Foster, what you know about this group, this is a Rocky Mount team. Here's the big problem. They're replacing a whole lot of playmakers.
Well, they are. That's especially at spots like wide receiver. I mean, a guy like Bakembe Kearney, he was not, he wasn't necessarily a big play guy, but he was very, very reliable. I don't see them dropping off too much at quarterback with Josh Carter gone. I think Forrest Bell should be very serviceable there. But in terms of athletes on the perimeter, when you look at Southern National, the guys they bring back, Rocky Mount really cannot match that in terms of wide receivers and running backs.
I think the point he made about Forrest Bell was exactly right. He is going to be serviceable. And we saw him a couple times last year. One time Josh Carter got benched to start a game. Forrest Bell came in. I believe in one game, I believe it was the Nash Central game, he was our player of the game.
Yes, he was.
He is going to hopefully not let your team get beat. He's going to, I hate the cliche, he's going to manage the game, and he's going to have to let his outside playmakers help him out as well.
Well, see, and I have a little higher of an opinion on Forrest Bell. I personally think he has the chance to be the best Rocky Mount quarterback since Collins Cuthrell. Now, I know you weren't exactly around during those old days, Ed. Collins Cuthrell was a 2,000-yard passer at Rocky Mount, and that was in the B.W. Holt system where we were running for 4,000 or 5,000 yards a season as well. I think Forrest Bell, he does not have the blinding speed of Josh Carter. He's surprisingly kind of undercover, really athletic.
Yeah.
He's hard to take down, which we saw a few times last year when he did play some. He's a hard guy to take down in the backfield. He throws pretty well on the move. He's a kid, and he's smart as a whip.
Yes.
That's the thing. He's extremely smart, extremely intelligent. I think Jason Battle could have a chance to actually open up his playbook a little more this year. And, as long as Forrest Bell isn't out there forcing bad throws, I think this is a Rocky Mount team offensively. I think they could almost take a step forward if they can find the credible outside receiver. Now, other guys, you're replacing Broderick Caldwell.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. Rashawn Harris was the best return man we saw last year. Those two guys, especially, those were big-time playmakers also in the special teams game.
Right.
Those are guys Rocky Mount's going to have to replace. Now, Foster, another thing for Rocky Mount, they're basically, with those guys, they're replacing their entire secondary.
Well, exactly. And lose a guy like Broderick Cottle, who was involved in, I think, 9 turnovers last year. Obviously, Rashawn back there too. Now they've got Rocky Mount always have athletes, so they've got guys like a B.J. Sanders who's back there and who's looked good. But you don't really know until those lights come on how those guys are going to perform. They've even talked about moving Sherrod Green, he's probably 6'2" and 210, 220 pounds. They've talked about him playing safety just because they need guys back there that know what they're doing. So I think that's got to be a big concern.
Now, talk a little bit. We're going to use your college recruiting expertise wherever we can. Roderick Green, a guy, he's a junior this year, already has Division I, has ACC offers. Give us a little insight on that kid.
Sherrod, he's a very just kind of quiet, well-spoken kid. He's got obviously an NC State offer so far, Old Dominion, some places like that. He camped, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago at North Carolina. So I think he's a kid that ends up in the ACC. If you see him in person, he's just he's a pretty intimidating presence. It really depends where he ends up playing in college. I think probably linebacker. He's going to play some fullback for the Griffons. But when it's all said and done, he'll be a top 10 player in the state of North Carolina.
One other kid to talk about, and just because this is a kid who's transferred into Rocky Mount, we've talked about our transfers the last few weeks. This is our transfer of the week, I guess. Rod White, coming off that state championship Rocky Mount Academy team a year ago.
Everybody got pieces off that.
Yeah, everybody's getting a little bit of that, seems. What are we hearing about Rod White over at Rocky Mount?
I asked around about him, and they, it wasn't necessarily rave reviews, which you would expect. But he's going to play outside linebacker for them, which was a spot they needed help at. Rod, he comes from a winning program, comes from an 8-man program, which, as Jacob Hunter told me too, it's definitely an adjustment moving to 11-man. Rod, I think will have a nice year for Rocky Mount in terms of playing a position that they really need.
All right. Well, Ed, I know you had a chance to head out and talk with Griffin's head coach, Jason Battle.
Absolutely.
I gave you a little bit of his time, and we're going to take you folks back out via videotape. We're going to take you to Rocky Mount High School and Ed Green's interview with head coach, Jason Battle.
All right, guys, now we're out here on the campus of Rocky Mount High School, the Capstone School. We're here talking with head coach Jason Battle. Coach Battle, another season upon us here. Just had your jamboree last night. How did that go for you guys?
We just finished watching film, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was, but I feel like we got better.
Where are some of those areas that you feel like you did get better, though?
Well, I felt like our wide receivers played better than they did Tuesday. Quarterbacks are still coming along. We were able to develop and learn about some other running back kids that we had, and defensively we still got a little area, but they ran to the ball and were aggressive last night.
Well, that is one thing Rocky Mountain's always been known for, is their team speed and the way they just go after the ball. Tell us a little bit about some of the guys that are going to be doing that this season.
Well, we got a new picture defensively, but of course we still have Artavius Richardson. He'll be coming back defensive end, and everybody's pretty familiar with Sherrod Green at this point. Deshaquan Fate has really been coming along, getting better day by day. So we'll be a little young in the secondary from what we've been, but those guys are progressing.
You mentioned some of the guys growing on the offense, though, too. Tell us, we know you had to replace some of the skill guys from last season. Tell us about some of the new guys stepping in there.
Well, it's not really new. Kevin Edwards right now is our front runner at wide receiver. He had a great summer, good spring last spring, and he's well prepared to step in that position. Running backs, but we bring back a boatload of running backs, and including we had a surprise, D'Angelo Collins coming up from the JV team. He's done very well thus far through camp and through 2 scrimmages. So expectations are high for that entire group.
Well, obviously, especially after last season, you guys got the monkey off your back, and you got that first playoff win as a head coach, which was amazing. What's going to be that next step now? When is it to make that deep playoff run?
Not really sure. I'm hoping these guys got hungry enough where they enjoy what happened and they want more. I know they've worked for it. They put some time in to get there. But on the field has to match what it looks like on paper.
Of course. Well, tell us a little bit about some of the games you guys have coming up this year. A little shift in the non-con schedule this year, and then of course a tough Big East after halfway.
Well, it's pretty balanced. We play 3 2A teams, then we play 3 4A teams, in which we're gonna have to travel, and those they're big matchups. We'll take on Middle Creek, second game of the year up there. Then we'll have Rose here as well as Hope County, and then Edenton Holmes, which is they've traditionally been well in 2A ball, and Hertford County was young last year, so they're going to be a whole lot better than they were last year.
Well, and just give us before we start the season here, 1 week away, just give us the overall impression of your team and where you think they are, where you think they're good, and where you think they still need to get better.
We've got to get better at just paying attention to detail. We're not doing a good job of that right now, paying attention to detail. But the attitude and the willingness to learn and work I can't complain a bit. Like, they've been here, they're putting the time in, so that lets me know that we're committed to what's going on right now.
Awesome. Well, I hope that commitment takes them through the season and it translates into a bunch of wins for you guys this year.
Thank you. We're going to need it. We need all the luck we can get.
All right. Well, best of luck to you guys this year. Folks, that is going to do it for our Rocky Mount High School preview.
Big thanks to Rocky Mount head coach Jason Battle. It's nice of you to get to go inside every now and then, right?
I know.
You're inside 2 for 2 this week.
I know.
I'm outside.
I'm done.
Yeah, I've got the next 2. I'm outside. It was hot. It was hot.
It wasn't that bad. Don't be a baby.
I will be. Anyway. All right, folks. Ed Green, Foster Lander joined us tonight via the phone. His voice is coming right through Ricky the Raven up here in front of the phone. Folks, we are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, your most exciting minute of the week, we've still got the Knights of Northern Nash, the Bulldogs of Nash Central. We're going to preview week 1. All that coming up. We'll be back with more of the All New Sports Show brought to you by Roger G. Taylor and Associates on WHIG TV.
The new place is perfect, or at least it will be, with a little help from Dex. In the book or at DexKnows.com. Dex can help you get results fast and deliver the best local advice so you can get it done right here, right now.
We should do this more often.
Dex, results for the here and now.
The WHIG TV karaoke show is moving to an all-new night, Tuesdays at 9:30. Catch all your favorite singers from Zaxby's every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 9:30. Only on WHIG TV.
And welcome back, everyone, to the all-new sports show brought to you by Roger G. Taylor & Associates. I'm Wes Bradshaw. He's Ed Green. Foster Lander joining us through Ricky the Raven. And, folks, it is now time. Hallelujah. It's time, Ed. Week 2 almost in the books. It's your most exciting minute of the week. It's 60 seconds of soccer. Ed, 90 seconds on the clock as we're going to let
The head
Foster
official has
Lander.
put up an extra 30.
Oh, an extra 30. That's injury time. We're going to let Foster Lander join in on this week. I will begin when you hit the button.
Go ahead.
Folks, what I had to say, Liverpool still undefeated. Why? Because we have yet to play Monday Night Football. The Cherries come to town. Bournemouth will be in their second ever Barclays Premier League match. They will be facing the Fighting Reds at Anfield Town. Ed is going to be a big one. I'm feeling at least 3 to 4 Liverpool goals here in an attack fest. Dejan Lovren is all of a sudden the best defender in Europe again. Oh my God, Daniel Sturridge is going to be back next month. I'm good. Go, Ed.
Smash cut to Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 0. What a fantastic week of narrative it was in the Barclays Premier League. We had the goal that wasn't Aston Villa and United on a Friday night. Love Friday night football. He doesn't, but I do. And then we had the fake game today. The fake win for Manchester City over Chelsea. Chelsea already 5 points back of City for the title race. It's crazy. Fabian Johnson's going to be out 3 weeks.
Foster Lander, go.
Well, me being an Arsenal fan, you know I got to talk about the win over Crystal Palace this morning, which was much needed, if only to soothe the masses that had been up in arms. Of course, every time Arsenal loses, it's the end of the world. But good to see the Gunners get their 3 points today and actually show some attacking impetus, which we're used to seeing from them. But should be a fun season in North London.
Are you going to get Kareem Benzema, yes or no?
I don't think so. I think that's all media hype. I hope we do, because he's better than Olivier Giroud, but I'll believe it when I see it.
As is Ricky the Raven.
Yes.
Giroud, beautiful man.
Yes.
Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, folks, that was your 60/90 seconds of soccer. That was 60 seconds with the injury time.
Yes, it was.
Added. All right, folks, back to your high school football preview. This is, of course, week 3, the final week of high school football previews. Week 1, we previewed Wilson County and Southwest Edgecombe. Last week, we had Tarboro, we had North Edgecombe, we had Rocky Mount Academy, we had Rocky Mount Prep. And, of course, this week, the final week, the 4 Big East Nash County teams. Southern Nash, Rocky Mount in the books. Northern Nash, Nash Central still to come. Foster Lander, you hear him, Rocky Mount Telegram, joining us. And now, folks, we're going to move on to Death Valley. Another season is here for the Knights of Northern Nash. Randy Raper in his 3rd season now at Northern. And Ed, it was going to be a big ship to turn when he came in there. I think we're seeing progress.
Yep.
It's just sometimes you have to look off the win-loss record to see the progress he is making.
Well, one thing, he kind of intoned to us is he really likes this group of guys he has in there now. He's gained a win every season. He improved on the 2-win season they had before he got there with 4 wins, then 5 last year, hoping to get above 500 this season. And I still don't know if they have the raw talent, but I truly feel like, especially at the high school level, one of the biggest challenges is just getting the guys to buy in and be there for each other. Mm-hmm. And if he has a good group of guys, I think that could be a lot of the way towards a winning season. It's a very tough schedule. They open up with 3 on the road: Corinth, Holders, Northeastern, and Tarboro. They're still a little thin at a lot of positions. but that's just kind of been the story for Northern. But I really feel like this maybe is the season we finally start seeing the real Randy Raper stamp on the Knights.
My only problem with Northern, as you mentioned, that schedule, that's brutal. That schedule's brutal.
And you come home for Laney.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're looking to improve on a 5-win season a year ago. The Big East didn't get no worse. You just got picked to finish 6th in the Big East. I don't really know if I agree on that totally, but
that's some banter.
That's definitely some good banter. But, I mean, you're looking, like you said, Corinth Holders, who a season ago Northern beat in a very close game at home. Northeastern, who just seems to annihilate almost everyone they play. Tarboro, who is Tarboro. That's always a very hard-fought game. So don't know what's going to happen there. Laney, we don't know a lot about Laney, but they're a 4A football team. Yeah, it's always difficult playing 4A football teams when you're down a division. Goldsboro, who should be a much improved 2A from a year ago. Smithfield Selma, Smithfield Selma. And then you jump right into Big East play with Hunt Southern Nash.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get Nash Central. Then you end the season 2 straight home games, Fike and Rocky Mount. Neither going to be easy.
Nope.
So, Foster, we'll let you talk a little bit here. You know, what are we going to see this year, I guess, from the Knights? Will there be improvement, if not in the win-loss column?
I think so. I really was a bit surprised to see them pick 6th in the Big East, considering that Nash Central has lost, I think, 24 games in a row now. If anything, it probably just comes down to their relative youth of Northern Nash. I don't see them winning more than 3 or 4 games, but I do think in terms of the attitude and the buy-in from the kids, I think you're starting to see that based on what we saw at the Jamboree.
So, I mean, basically, I think what we're all getting at is this might not be a great year win-loss-wise for the Knights, but as Foster mentioned, this is a youthful team. This could be a foundation season that could build this Northern Nash program.
Absolutely. I think that's what we need to see is they need to start having, kind of like Nash Central, we'll talk about in a little bit, they need to start winning games again. I mean, it's 2010 was their last season with a winning record, and if you go past 2010, their last season before that with a winning record was 2002. So this is a program that has not had a lot of football success this decade, and really just needs something positive to happen. Randy Raper coming, starting to change the culture, starting to get these guys trying to buy in. If they can keep building, this is a place where, with that rivalry they have with Rocky Mount, you can really foster a lot of growth. But it's going to be about numbers, and it's going to be about getting through a brutal Big East.
Foster, offensively from the Knights this year, they're having to replace their quarterback. We'll get to that a little bit in our interview with Randy Raper. Looking at the schedule with the guys they're having to replace, do you think there's a chance that this team could get down on themselves early in the year?
I think there's always that chance when you consider what the program has been through lately. They bring back their basically their top playmaker from last year, and Quan Whitaker, the senior running back. But Raper mentioned that they might end up playing 2 quarterbacks to start the year, and that's not exactly conducive to trying to get some early wins, I don't think.
Ed, right there, we talked to Randy Raper. Something you said, you mentioned this earlier, he likes this team. Yeah. He likes this group of kids. The first year or 2 when you're at a program, you've got kids who have not come through your system. You're inheriting kids. Sometimes that can be great. If you have really good senior and junior leadership, that can be great. If you don't, it can be a struggle.
Yes.
The fact that Randy Raper's won 9 games in 2 years with a group where they weren't always gelling coach to players, I mean, what does that say for Randy Raper, who truly you've got to say in our viewing area, the Tri-Counties, this guy's a football coach and legend.
Yeah, one of the most successful coaches in our area. I mean, just go back to his time at Hunt, where he spent a lot of time winning a lot of football games. And really, that's all you need is that resume there. To come and bring that to Northern Nash is a great gift for them still. But it was going to take time. Like you said, this was not going to get turned around overnight. And you hope, even with a really tough schedule this year, that this is the year you start seeing that on the field progress as well.
All right, of course, we had the chance to talk with head coach Randy Raper, Ed behind the camera, Wes in front of the camera. Folks, we're going to take you out now to our afternoon jaunt to Death Valley, once again on an undisclosed date. And we're going to talk to Northern Nash head coach Randy Raper. And folks, we welcome you on to the field at Death Valley. We're at Northern Nash High School, home of the Northern Nash Knights. Joining us, head coach Randy Raper here for his third season now as the man in the hot seat for Northern Nash. Coach, as we enjoy this nice little breeze that we're suddenly getting here. We can live with this. Coach, it's been a hot summer. I think we've asked everybody. It's been a hot summer. But how is the summer conditioning going for the Knights?
We've done well. Our kids have worked really hard, and we preach getting out in this heat as much as we can. And we've changed our practice times to 6 to 8 in the evening. So I want them to feel some heat, and hopefully we'll get in better shape.
Coach, going into the season. Talking off camera, you said it's going to be a year of youth for the Knights. So that's not to be not to mean that youth can't be some good youth.
Oh yeah, we've got a real good group of boys. I think we're going to have maybe 6, 7 seniors on our squad, and the rest of them are going to be sophomores and juniors. And they have worked really hard in all season, all during weight room. They come out, they run. I mean, we've been working hard. These are a good group of kids, and it's been fun to work with these guys.
Coach, when we open up our Rocky Mountain Telegrams on Saturday mornings, when we tune into the all-new sports show every Sunday night, 8 o'clock, who are some of the names for some of the Knights that we're going to be hearing this year? Who are the guys we can expect to carry the water?
Well, we've got some that'll be rising seniors, and one of them is Quan Whitaker, who's played running back and some secondary for us last year. He's going to be counted on heavily. Namir Davis, again, as a receiver, defensive back guy. Both were starters as sophomores, and now this will be their third year going into it, so we're counting heavily on them. And then we have a couple other guys. Javon Clark plays linebacker and play fullback for us a little bit. Some of the younger guys, Zach Langley, Kristen Daniels, Tyler Polinsky. We got a number of guys. Chris McNeil. These guys have been here in the program for at least going on 2 years now, and we're going to rely on them heavily.
Coach, when we get down and look at it, this is year 3 for you here at Northern Nash. You came in, obviously you were a big name for your work that you've done for many years over at Wilson Hunt, was highly respected. You coming in, this is year 3 at Northern Nash. What do you see as kind of the big change that you've seen in 3 years now?
Well, it's just the personality and the commitment of the kids. We've always had some good support from the community, good support from our school. Our kids had to be more dedicated to what they were doing, and this group here, now going into the third year, hopefully it's rubbed off on them a little bit, and we're starting to see signs of that. So that's going to be something that's going to carry us through the years. It'll make or break us.
Coach, taking a look at your schedule now, the Big East is the Big East. Hunt, Fike, Southern Nash, Rocky Mountain, all coming off playoff appearances a year ago. All 4 of those schools, they're bringing back some good ball players. They're excited for what they've got. Taking a look more at your non-conference schedule, can you kind of go over your non-conference with us and just tell us where the Knights are going to be getting ready for the Big East season?
Our non-conference schedule is as tough as any I've ever had. We did away with Warren County and Southern Vance, and we picked up Wilmington, Laney, and Goldsboro. Our first 3 games are Corinth Holders, Elizabeth City, Northeastern, and Tarboro. So that's the type of schedule we have, and that's what we want here. We want to play tough to get ready for that Big East Conference, and that's the only way you can do it.
Absolutely, Coach. Just going in, I guess big season hopefully for the Knights. Kind of get some things going. With this youth, you're definitely looking to continue building. And we're definitely looking forward to watching you guys build for the next few coming years. Coach, I'll just ask you, between you and me, how much longer you think you might be sticking around. I'm not meaning that in a bad way at all. I promise.
I understand. I understand. I don't know. As long as I'm enjoying it and having fun and keep the good health that we have, you never know. Am I going to do this another 10, 20 years? No. But I'm day to day, year to year right now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. Keeps me busy. My wife doesn't like it a whole lot. She'd rather for me to be at home cutting grass and doing stuff at home. But I don't know. I really can't give you a set number of days or years.
I got you. Listen, I did not mean that as in, hey, Coach, we ain't gonna retire. We're trying to get ready. Not at all. We thank you so much, Coach. Coach Randy Raper. He's been a great guest for us on the All New Sports Show for literally as long as we've been around. First as the head coach at Hunt, now here at Northern Nash. And Coach, we wish you all the success this season, and we will definitely be seeing you soon.
Oh, I sure hope that so, and I appreciate everything you guys do.
Coach. Folks, that's going to take care of this year's Northern Nash preview here on the All New Sports Show. Thank you, Randy Raper, taking some time out to chat with us on a warm afternoon.
Yes, it's warm. I got you in the shade.
It's warm. Shady. All right, folks, that will, as I said, put Northern Nash to bed. And now, folks, we arrive. It has been a journey, Ed.
Yes.
We are 11/12 of the way there. Does that reduce? That does not reduce. You're right, that does not reduce. 11/12 of the way there, folks. And we have now arrived at your final preview for the 2015 Tri-County High School football season. Ed, We've been to Hunt. We've been to Fike. We've been to Southwest. We've been to Bedingfield. Yeah. Been to Tarboro. Been to North Edgecombe. Been to Rocky Mount Academy. Been to Rocky Mount Prep. Rocky Mount Academy Prep. There you go. Yeah, we've been to Rocky Mount. We've been to Northern Nash. We've been to Southern Nash. Yeah, that leaves one. That's county, folks. You'll like that one. And Ed, we come to the team that at this point may have the most notoriety of all of our teams.
Unfortunately.
Folks, we come to the Bulldogs of Nash Central High School. Nash Central will have a new head football coach this year, Chris Lee, making his way over from Lewisburg High School. Ed, why don't you pull up Lewisburg real quick?
Lewisburg, because they are in the... What conference are they in?
They're in the East. I believe it is the...
Here we go.
The Tar Roanoke Conference.
Tar Roanoke Conference.
Tar Roanoke, that is the 1A right there. And
they were the 1As, that's right. There you go.
Went 9-4 last year.
All right, 9-4 a year ago. 8-4 a year before. So this is Chris Lee, who's coming off successful teams at Lewisburg. 2013 won a conference championship. This is Lewisburg who, looking back at their records, I mean, they're good. They've had some good years. But, I mean, this is not a perennial state power at Lewisburg. Chris Lee went up there, did a really good job at Lewisburg. Now he comes to Nash Central where, what's the nicest way we can put about the last 2+ seasons at Nash Central?
We had Jalen Hodges last year.
The word we use is dumpster fire. Folks, it has been, I mean, we're gonna cut through the tape here.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you how it is, folks. It's been bad.
Yeah.
24 straight losses for Nash Central. Folks, we were taking a look at the record for the last couple of years for Nash Central, looking at the scores. You know, a couple seasons ago, there was a 3-7 season in there where they were really competitive. You know, and even at that point, that was a season after what was probably the best Nash Central team ever, the 2011 season, where they should have been better than 9-3. Hunt. You expected them to take a step back. They did. And then everything just fell off the deep end.
Oh, man. It did.
Back-to-back 0-11s. And for most of them, not all of them, for most of them, they weren't even competitive. Couldn't score the football. Couldn't stop anyone from scoring the football.
Nope.
You know, the kicking game was about the only solid part the last few years.
And you didn't just see it on the field; you saw it off the field. We had the Hashan Gaines saga last season. You know, that just kind of typified. You know, I was there when he declared he was going to Florida, and then he wasn't.
And when that story broke, the response was almost,
"That's not."
It was going to happen. It was going to happen at Nash Central.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what really Nash Central as a school, and we've talked about it on this show. We have talked about it on other editions of this show. What Nash Central needs is a culture change. They need to get out of their own way, and they need to win football games. They need to win in all sports, but they need here to win football games. Even one win this season, and looking at their schedule, they are at North Johnston. North Johnston only has one win over the last 2 seasons. They're a 2A school. That's, then they're home for Southwest Edgecombe, but Southwest Edgecombe is really good this season.
Smithfield Selma in there, who's
They do.
never a power.
But then they're at Beddingfield. Beddingfield's pretty good. Home for Bunn, and then it's Big East play. They need a win this season.
I want to see what Nash Central can do if they can win one of those first 3 games.
Yeah.
You have a rebuilding Tarboro team.
Yes.
Now, yes, you host Tarboro. That's not going to be easy.
They've beaten Tarboro at home, though. That was a better team.
Much better team. That team had Ty Gurley for Tarboro, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not expecting them to beat Tarboro. That's just me. We're doing the game.
You beat Nash Central last year, so congratulations.
Yeah, I did pick them last year. How that worked for me. I'm not expecting Central to get a win. But the next 2, I would not be shocked to see Central sitting 2-1. And if you're sitting 2-1, the 24-game losing streak, the memory is gone.
It's gone.
You no longer have to deal with
You're above 500.
You're above 500. Nobody's hassling you more about that losing streak, and then you go along your way. You play Southwest, you play Beddingfield, you play Bunn. If somehow you come out that 3-3 out of that schedule, you go to the Big East Conference with the biggest grin on your face because you are playing with house money at that point if you are Nash Central. Foster Lander, who's still with us on the phone via Ricky the Raven here. Foster, what have you seen, what have you experienced thus far when it comes to Nash Central?
I don't even really know what to say about Nash Central in terms of just them needing a win. Chris Lee has talked a lot about the attitude being better and being more positive, but that only gets you so far when you don't have the horses and you don't have kids that are used to winning. So, like you guys said, they could use a win early in the season.
I mean, Nash Central in their program's history for football is 30 games under 500.
And when you look at it, 24 of those are straight.
Yeah.
If you take 24 of those off, you're an all-time 6 under 5. You're basically a 500 program if you take out the last 2 seasons. This is a program that they are not averse to winning.
Yeah.
I mean, they do not have a double-digit win season in their history, but they have been a consistent 6 to 8 win team consistently. These last 2 years, the last 3 years really have been such outliers. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. Kevin Crudup, good guy. We like talking to Kevin Crudup. We enjoy dealing with Kevin Crudup. He's a good guy.
Sometimes it's just time to go.
He needed to go. Don't take that any personally. Anything it's not personal.
But the players had checked out. I mean,
the players absolutely checked out. It was a toxic environment. You almost needed a scorch the earth policy on this. They brought back 2 coaches off the previous staff. I think that's a good thing. You need a little continuity, and you find the best guys through continuity. Juan Jackson is one of those guys. He's a good coach, very good coach. And that's a good one for Chris Lee to keep. Bringing in Kent Cox from Rocky Mount. He and Chris Lee have worked together well before while they were at Rocky Mount doing the JVs for the Griffons. So for Chris Lee, that's familiarity.
Yes.
And that's what he needs. And he needs to just come in quickly and put into his players, guys, we're going to be successful. It's not, are we going to be successful? We are going to be successful.
Well, and that's one thing he mentioned to you when we were doing the interview. He didn't want to talk about the losing streak.
No.
Because he hasn't lost a game in Nash Central yet.
No, he hasn't.
So for him, it's a fresh start and it's a clean slate.
For us, for Foster Lander, for Josh Wallfish, for Jesse Nunnery, we're hoping after a week or 2 we don't have to talk about a losing streak anymore.
We love a new narrative.
We're hoping at the end of August that this thing is gone.
Yeah.
And there's a chance. There is definitely a chance for it.
Because we would love a Big East where we don't know who's going to win any of the three games in conference any week.
We want the beast of parity.
Yes, we did.
That's what we want. We want everyone every Friday night to be a threat to knock somebody off, to take the crown. Not, I want it to be a shocker that the team that got picked to finish first ends up finishing 5th or 6th. I want shockers. I want narrative. And we love the Premier League.
We do love.
We love Europe.
Yes, we do.
Those writers
they are good.
So good.
They're such good script writers. They wrote a great script this weekend.
Oh, it was a great script. It's not over yet.
Yes,
Go
not.
Reds.
Final act tomorrow.
Final act tomorrow. Foster, just real quick, we know you've had a little bit of limited access out at Nash Central. Of course, you're a little new to the area, haven't covered them a lot. But as far as what you know about Chris Lee, where do you think he has the chance to take the Bulldogs this year?
This year, I could see them winning 3 games. He's bringing the wing tee with him from Lewisburg. So it's, I think Lewisburg averaged almost 40 points a game last year. Obviously, that's in single A, and it's not the Big East. So it's a little bit different. For me, the biggest loss for them, besides Hashan, obviously, was Dylan Hodges, who made, I think, 135 tackles for them last year. He's now at Southwest Edgecombe. So they definitely will be missed. But I think 3 wins would be a positive step for Coach Lee and Nash Central.
Okay. And folks, Ed and I had the chance to head out to Nash Central before the season started. It hasn't started yet, but anyway, you know what I mean at this point, folks. We had a chance to go out and talk to Chris Lee, and we are going to take you back out to the Dog Pound and show you that interview. And folks, welcome you to the campus of Nash Central High School. In the background, of course, the football stadium here at Nash Central. Standing with us right now, the new head coach of the Nash Central Bulldogs, one of 2 new head coaches in our viewing area this week, or this year, actually, not even just this week, this year. And he knows the other one pretty well as well. So Chris Lee joining us here, head football coach, Nash Central. Coach Lee, welcome back to the Nash County area.
Thank you, Wes. Been looking forward to getting back and getting started.
Of course, Coach Lee coming from Lewisburg High School, had a very successful program down at Lewisburg, and now coming in taking the reins here at Nash Central. Coach, what's been your initial reaction back here at Nash Central?
A lot of good athletes here. The kids have been good turnout over the summer. A lot of athletes. Look forward to having a successful year.
Coach, we've said this about everybody today. It's been a really hot summer. It's been really hot. So how have the off-season workouts been going?
Been going good. We've averaged over 40 kids at all our workouts, which we went in the morning, so we never had to lose a day because of heat. And the turnout was good, as I said, and we look forward to August 1st getting here.
Coach, I guess the elephant in the room for Nash Central, what you do walk into the state's longest losing streak. And not anything to run from. You knew it taking the job. Is there pressure on you to kind of get that monkey off your back early?
I don't think so. When I first met with the kids, we discussed not looking forward, looking backwards, just looking forward. There'll be no mention of any streak of any kind except winning streaks. If we don't happen to end it early, there's plenty of opportunities in the season to get that first W. The kids and the community here are hungry for a win. It's been a while, like you said. It's not going to happen overnight to get this thing turned around, but there's potential here, and good things can happen at Nash Central.
Coach, we know practice just about to start. I'm sure you probably don't have your full starting 22 set yet, but on Saturday mornings when we open up the newspaper, we open up our Rocky Mount Telegram, our Nashville Graphics. We tune in the all-new sports show Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. Who are some of the names from Nash Central that we're going to be hearing this year? Who are going to be the kids carrying the water for you?
On offense, we're looking at Adam Moore at center, A.J. Floyd at a guard, Alton Noble as another lineman, Alec McLennan as tight end, C.J. Pierce as a quarterback, McKinley Lyons and Nazay Morales at wingbacks, and Miles and D.K. Stample at Miles Lane and D.K. Stample at fullback. They've all had outstanding summers for us. Defensively, Rayshawn Andrews, Miles Lane, and again D.K. at linebacker, Najuan Cooper at a corner, and again there's some open spots available that we're looking to fill, but we've had good turnout and been real pleased so far.
Going to be running a wing tee variation?
Yes, be very similar to what I did at Lewisburg and at Rocky Mount when I was assistant there.
Coach, we look ahead. we all know what we got in the Big East Conference. You got 4 teams coming back who, played playoff games a season ago. You've got Northern Nash, third year under Coach Randy Raper. Let's talk a little bit about your non-conference schedule that's going to get you ready to play that Big East Conference. Can you kind of take us through your non-conference?
We open up with Tarboro, which is Tarboro. They're traditionally very strong. Then we got Smithfield, Selma, and North Johnston in back-to-back weeks. They're sort of in the same boat as we are, rebuilding. Got Southwest here at home, Southwest Edgecombe. Then we got Wilson, Bedingfield, and Bunn. So the non-conference schedule is tough, but it's games in there more our size and abilities, I think. So we look forward to the challenge each week.
Coach Chris Lee, we thank you so much for taking a couple minutes out of your busy day to join us here on the All New Sports Show. As with all our coaches, we look forward to definitely seeing you throughout the season, and we wish nothing but the best for the Nash Central Bulldog program, trying to get back on the right track. They got a new man to do it here, folks. He is Chris Lee, head coach of the Nash Central Bulldogs, and that will conclude our preview for Nash Central here on the All New Sports Show. Thanks, Chris Lee of the Nash Central Bulldogs. And, folks, with that,
that's it.
That concludes
the
2015 high school football preview here for the All New Sports Show. Folks, tonight's guest has been Foster Lander of the Rocky Mountain Telegram. Foster, we'd like to thank you for unable to be in studio with us tonight, but man, we'd really like to thank you for spending the last hour on the phone with us. That's been great of you. Jesse Nunnery knew you weren't going to get any work done during that hour, so that's okay.
I've been trying.
It's okay. We had that cleared. Don't worry, man. You're good. And Foster, man, we hope to have you back on during the season as one of our correspondents.
Yes.
For our Sunday night call-in segment. So we thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. And for all you North Edgecombe fans out there, our preview is running in tomorrow's paper. So go ahead, pick up a copy if you want to.
There you go.
Great talk with you, Pat.
Foster, we'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
All right.
Good guy, even if he is a gooner.
Yeah.
Down, boy. All right, folks. This time, what are we going to do, folks? We're going to preview week 1 because the preview's over.
It's here.
It's here. High school football season is here to join the Premier League. And also, baseball's home stretch is coming up. And apparently that NFL, they're fighting and breaking each other's faces. I don't know. I like sports where they're not fighting all the time.
Thankfully, the Carolina Panthers aren't doing any of that, though.
I don't like watching fighting. I do enjoy the WWE, though.
That's not fighting.
It's not fighting. It's acting. It's acting. All right, Ed, let's preview week 1. Where are we going to be?
We are going to be at the Dog Pound, where we finished up our preview. That's where we're going for week 1. We will be there with bells on to watch Tarboro taking on Nash Central. The rest of the schedule looks like this. Fike will be heading to Bunn. Hunt hosts 4A Lumberton to open their season.
That's an interesting one right there.
Northern Nash, as we said tonight, going to Corinth Holders. Rocky Mount travels to South Granville. Southern Nash goes to Northwood. So a lot of our teams on the road for the start of this season, but that's just our 3A schedule. Let me pull up the 2A schedule really quick here as we go to the Eastern Plains. In 2A, Bedingfield opens up with Goldsboro, the team you mentioned earlier.
Game. Very interesting game.
Southwest Edgecombe goes to Edendon Holmes.
That might be your game of the week. That's going to be crazy cool up there. That's going to be a good one.
And in the Two Rivers, North Edgecombe starts at Northwest Halifax. Rocky Mountain Prep, they're at the Kippers.
Kippers!
Chance to go 1-0 on the season.
Get ready for a sold-out, jam-packed Kipper Stadium.
So they start at Kip. Pride and Tarboro, as we mentioned, goes to Nash Central. And I'm going to look up really quickly who Rocky Mountain Academy opens up with, although they may not
if they actually open this week.
So while we mentioned that, and I'm looking that up, I want to tell you guys one more time, you can find us on the Twitter, at West Bradshaw 21, at Edward Green, at All News Sports Show.
Ricky the Raven does not have a Twitter.
Yet.
He finds it cumbersome.
Rocky Mountain Academy opens this season this Friday versus Arundel Parent Academy.
That's
a replay of last year's final.
That's big time. That Arundel Parent may be the state favorite this year.
Terrell Hudgens, big start in his first game.
We'll know something early. What will the story be?
Well, no.
How
You
has
can
the
also
story
get us
been written?
on YouTube, The All News Sports Show. Get us on Facebook, All News Sports Show. Get us on Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, Podbean.com for the podcast, as well as NGSCSports.com. Lastly, mail us 1701 Sunset Avenue, Suite 201, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27804.
That's right, folks. I will now be putting up an item a week on our Twitter page that you can send me.
You know who else does that?
Who?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
All right.
Must be good. All right, folks. That's going to wrap us up tonight. Like we said, see you next week. Next week will be our first wrap-up of the season. We will have all the week one highlights, all the week one
Highlights.
highlights.
In audio
I'll
form.
tell you.
Of us telling you about them.
We'll have our first. We're going to do a play of the week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll see who's sponsoring it.
Sure, if anyone. If not Ricky and the
We
Ravens.
have that cardboard from last year that we used.
Here you go. We'll find someone. But we'll bring all that to you. We'll have our first set of interviews from the Wilson Times, also the Rocky Mount Telegram. And we'll just take you through Friday night, folks. It's Friday night. The lights are on. It's time for football. I'm excited. It is time for football. Go on, you Mighty Reds. Liverpool, Bournemouth. Don't forget that Monday Night Football that comes on at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
So, good times. Okay, for our friend Foster Lander, who, as you know, came through Ricky the Raven. For our one-name producer, Lee. We used to have another producer. Whatever. For Ed Green, I'm Wes Bradshaw, folks. We hope you've enjoyed this final preview for the 2015 high school football season. And we hope to see you each and every Sunday night coming up for the next about 3+ months.
Absolutely.
And we're going to bring you all the action right here on the All New Sports Show, brought to you by Roger G. Taylor and Associates on WHIG TV. Good night, America.
See you in Tarboro with Nash Central.
Ugh, missed.
And Nash Central.
Ugh, I look like Geno Smith, just without the broken jaw.
All right, guys, now we're out here at the campus of Southern Nash House. I'm an idiot. I suck at this. I don't do this for a living.
You're talking about me. Close it, Brian.